How's it going, everyone? A little bit of a different preview this week. I was lucky enough to be joined by Tommo, so that's a very nice guest to have for our race previews. And there is also an interview next week that's going up at the start on Monday with Tommo. I just sit down and speak to him about F1, YouTube, and it's just a really nice chat. So if you fancy watching that, stick around. It'll be out next week. Make sure to subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the video. Let's talk about this weekend, the Russian Grand Prix. So Mercedes it's basically their Grand Prix. They've won every single race since 2014. And
they've won every single race there ever.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
100% record of all time.
So like Mercedes go in obviously as favourites, and with Max having his grid penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see anybody stopping Bottas, Hamilton? Because it's difficult, but that run to turn one is gonna cause some. It'll be quite tasty come Sunday.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the flooding. There's been some mad weather there.
It's crazy.
Which obviously, we don't want Spa levels of rain for obvious reasons, because we actually want a race to go ahead. But obviously, if the weather is a bit weird, if it is a bit changeable, then I think that's the best chance of a non-Mercedes car winning. I think this is Valtteri's race. I mean, he smashed it at Italy. I think now that the cat's out the bag, the news is out, he can kind of relax and. He put on a stunning performance. I mean, Ricciardo took my driver. A lot of people were upset I didn't put Bottas driver of the weekend. I could not put Ricciardo, but Bottas was amazing. I think, I'm excited because Russia's usually a bit stale, to put it lightly. But the idea of Max cutting through the fields, I think it's quite an exciting prospect. I hope he takes the new engine and goes to the back, because then we can see him fighting through. And I hope there's a bit of changeable weather so that the top two aren't that kind of predictable. But I don't think Perez is in a place right now in that Red Bull to challenge the Mercedes on pace yet. I mean, I think this race is looking pretty solid for Mercedes, to be honest. But again, I mean, Max is ahead in the title. That'll probably put Lewis ahead in the title. So as long as it's tight in Abu Dhabi, I don't really care.
Exactly. That's all you need, mate. No, I think that the dark horse is going into this weekend. I always say I do race previews, and it's always McLaren for me. It's just that engine, what they've done with their aero package and the Mercedes engine. You've seen it at Monza. They're so difficult to overtake. And especially if, say, Lando or Daniel get inside the top four in qualifying, that slipstream effect they're going to have in the turn one is going to be, if it's dry, will be amazing. They could challenge for a podium. I think there's something there.
Definitely. I think McLaren are in a kind of, I guess, when you look at the kind of, because Ferrari tends to be better in the tighter, twistier tracks, for example. Definitely. McLaren on this, I'd say Sochi's kind of a bit more long straights. I do think Daniel's going to have a bit more of a difficult weekend. It's the low medium speed corners that he really struggles with in the McLaren, and obviously at Monza there's not too much of that. It's mainly kind of straights and just focusing on exits. I think McLaren will be up at the sharp end because they're really pushing for it, and they really want that P3. As soon as I think Ferrari, I was like, it's done. Ferrari can have it. McLaren have a great weekend, and Ferrari have to be fair, damage limitation last race. They did well, considering like their power plant redundancies at the moment. They did really well. I still think Ferrari will probably get it. I think Ferrari have got the overall better package, but I think McLaren, who knows with Lando. I think as long as Daniel Ricciardo, like, he needs to take that step up now.
He can play more of a wingman to Lando. If he can get closer, they're gonna get third. But if it's just Lando getting the points and
100%,
Sainz and Leclerc are getting 6th, 7th, and they're always there with each other, I think that, like I said, the overall picture, I said midway through the season that Ferrari will get third, because on that basis they score with two cars most of the time.
Exactly, because Sainz has done such a good job.
I think that hopefully for Ricardo, the win has just flicked the switch and he can now just relax and he can just drive how he wants to drive. But it's difficult because we don't know what the weather's going to do. And I'm a bit gutted because Gasly has just been sensational in qualifying this year. Like, I think it's 10 top 6 qualifying positions. I think he's been inside. It's ridiculous.
It might be 11 actually.
Yeah,
I think it might be 11. It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah,
and he doesn't do too well in the wet. Gasly, I think he struggles a bit more, and I just want to see him do something because I feel sorry for him. So I do, man. I just want him to be. I want him in a better team. So I do.
I love a good redemption arc, and I think given his struggles at Red Bull, and the way he's driven over the last 2 years, I think he's easy top 3 performing drivers in F1.
Exactly.
When he went back to Toro Rosso, outperformed Kvyat, got the P2 at Interlagos, and then got the win at Monza last year, loads of podiums this year. Like, he's been so good. Obviously, it's difficult because obviously we don't know where Tsunoda is relative. Exactly. Is Tsunoda doing actually all right and Pierre's just ridiculous, or is Tsunoda doing really bad and it's making Pierre look better?
Really,
it's hard to say.
It's a difficult one. So it is.
But I think Pierre's doing an amazing job. Like, he's so
I
good.
think he's driving the wheels off that car. I just think it suits how he's got 100%. A team that believe in him and listen to every word that I think he says, and then that just allows him to just show what he can do.
Well, I think it's 7-7 in qualifying between Gasly and Perez. Which
that's good. That's good to know.
It's either 7-0 or 8-6. I'm pretty sure it's 7-0 because we're 14 rounds in now. I'm pretty sure it's 7-0.
So what you're saying is we should get Max out of the Red Bull and put him in the AlphaTauri and then put
Pierre
and Checo together, and we'll get the result then.
The dream team. Yeah, I mean, maybe just for one race. If Red Bull can win the championship before Abu Dhabi, just stick Max in the AlphaTauri for one race. That'd be great. That'd be great marketing for AlphaTauri as well. That'd be so good.
Perfect.
That's actually a great idea.
Write that one down. Send that into Stefano Domenicali here. So. No matter what.
Friends tossed, come on, it makes sense.
Yeah, but I think that what we have this weekend is just unpredictable, and I like that, and I don't like that sometimes because it fries my head when I have to be sitting thinking, right, who's going to do this, who's going to do, and then we just get something like Hungary where it was Ocon and Vettel at the front, and it was just amazing, and you get so Baku. Good. It's just, I love these weekends, but they stress me out, man. I'm just sitting, I can't watch half the time.
Well, this is what kind of, because look, I love Daniel, I love Lando. There's still drivers that I pull for, but none of them are quite like Alex for me. Next year's going to be a lot more stressful for me because, you know what, it's been kind of nice this year not having to worry about, where is Alex, because I could enjoy things a bit more openly, but I am fully 100% Alex next year. So that's going to be a struggle, I think, at times.
The Tommo Brandon's going to change from pink to blue. It'll be Williams blue, it'll be everything. Just Albon, you'll take out the dog and the thumbnail, it'll just be you and Albon. So, well...
It's a great idea. Thumbnail.
I'm giving you content here, man.
Thank you, man. Write this down. Come on.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to give me a top 3 prediction for this weekend, who do you think will be where?
I honestly think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be Mercedes 1-2. Okay, no surprise there. The question is, if Bottas is ahead, does he let Hamilton through? I think Bottas does. I think he does. I think he lets Hamilton through. So I think Hamilton will be P1. I think Bottas P2. And then I'm going to say, because actually he has kind of gone, I think, under the radar a bit this year, but his performances have been very good. I'm going to say Charles Leclerc P3.
That's a good shout. That's a really good shout. So it is.
He's been very good this year. He's made some mistakes, but on his day, he's been unreal. So Charlie boy.
I like that. I'm going to go I don't know. Something just tells me something's going to happen at the start. I don't know what it is. I think Hamilton didn't get a great. He didn't get a great start last time out in the sprint, so he didn't. I think Bottas is going to win this one. Something just tells me he likes the circuit. First ever race win around here, won last year. Hamilton's going to get a bad start from pole. I'm not putting that. I don't want that to happen, but it'd be good for the title race, so it would.
Good for the spectacle, yeah.
Exactly, definitely. But I think Verstappen's going to get the podium, even if he does take a penalty. I think it will be on the podium, so he will. And I don't know. I just think Bottas is going to win, and I can't predict anything else.
I think Bottas hasn't exactly. What's the turn of phrase I'm looking for? He hasn't exactly. There's a turn of phrase I can't find, but he hasn't impressed in the rain recently, has he?
No, he hasn't.
In the
Turkey last year, it was horrendous.
Exactly, and then Hungary this year, straight into the back of Lando. So I mean, he hasn't covered himself in glory there. But I think if it's a dry race, I think Bottas definitely will be the quickest driver out there for sure.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. I think we'll just see what happens. Do you know what?
We'll see. We'll see. Exactly.
We just want good racing, so we do. That's it.
That's all I want to say. I don't care who's at the top. Until Alex is in the sport next year, then I will always care that he's number one. Obviously.
Yes, Tommo, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure, mate.
Mate, thank you for having me. No, it's been good. Good to shoot some chat about YouTube and that as well. I love YouTube. Just outside of me creating, I just love. I watch YouTube all the time, so it's fun to talk about.
It is
the story, I suppose. But yeah, cheers, man. Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.